American businessman, investment strategist, and philanthropist Peter Lynch said, although it's easy to forget sometimes, a share is not a lottery ticket. It's part ownership of a business. In this video, we're going to interpret a stock bar chart, create a stock bar chart, interpret a stock candlestick chart, and create a stock candlestick chart. All to answer the question, how can stock data be displayed? Let's make sure we have the skills to do this problem by finding an item usually sells for X dollars. It is marked down to Y dollars. Interpret each of the following algebraic expressions in this context. Now, the absolute value of X minus Y gives us simply the absolute difference in prices. It doesn't tell us if it's gone up or down. The absolute value of Y minus X divided by X gives us a fractional part of the original price that is the discount. 100 times the absolute value of Y minus X divided by X is going to give us the percent of discount. So what is the approximate difference between the highest price and the lowest price for the week shown in this candlestick chart from September 7th to 11th? We can see in the chart that the high on September 7th was about $39.90. And we can see that the absolute lowest price was about $37.75. So the difference between the two would be $39.90 minus $37.75, giving us $2.15. Now, if you couldn't do this problem, don't worry, you will be able to by the end of this lesson. Before getting going, there's some vocabulary that you're going to need to know before we can really get going in this lesson. Like, stock data can be presented in list form or graphical form. Now, graphical form is known as stock charts. A common stock chart format would be the stock bar chart. Let's interpret a stock bar chart. We can see, looking at the stock bar chart, that the top of that thick bar represents the high, where the bottom of that thick bar represents the low. Now, there's a tab that sticks out to the left, which is the opening price, and a tab that sticks out to the right, representing the closing price. Underneath that, we will be able to see the number of shares traded in the millions on that day. This is Goldpoint Manufacturing Company. Which day had the highest price and which day had the lowest price? The top portion of this chart shows the day's trading prices. Because the top of each bar represents the day's high price, the highest price for the week was May 2nd. The bottom of each bar represents the day's low price, so the low price for this week was on April 29th. So approximately how many shares of Goldpoint Manufacturing Company were traded over the 5-day period? On the 28th, it appears to be about 185. On April 29th, it appears to be about 70. On April 30th, it appears to be about 75, just a little bit higher of a bar. It went down just a little bit on May 1st to 70. Came back up on May 2nd to 90. So if we add all these up, we can find that 490. But it's not 490 shares. This is 490 million shares of Goldpoint Manufacturing Company were traded during the week of April 28th. Let's check our understanding of this by using the stock bar chart to write a brief fictional story of what the trading action that occurred with Goldpoint Manufacturing Company on April 28th and April 29th. Begin your story with, on April 29th, one share of Goldpoint Manufacturing Company opened at $8.15. During that day, on April 28th, shares of Goldspot Manufacturing Company opened at $18.15. During the day, the shares reached a high of approximately $8.42 per share and a low of $8.10 per share. Goldpoint closed at approximately $8.21 per share. Now, on April 29th, shares of Goldpoint Manufacturing opened at $8.23. During the day, the shares reached a high of approximately $8.37 and a low of $8.07 per share. Goldpoint closed at approximately $8.12 per share on that day. Now let's create a stock bar chart. To do this, we're going to want to remember that the main bar's top point is the high of the day and its bottom is the low, where a tab off on the left is the opening price and a tab off on the right is the closing price. With the opening at $40.10, we can come just a little under halfway between the $40 and $40.25. The high was at $40.65. So we get the top of our bar. The low was at $39.39. So we can come all the way down to just below $39.50. This is going to give us our whole bar, which would get filled in. Now the close was at $39.79, just a smidgen above $39.75. The volume of trading was 44,500, so right in the middle of this 40 to 50, and this is going to give us our volume trade. Let's check our understanding and suppose that trading was suspended for one entire day for a corporation. What might that stock bar chart look like? If trading is suspended, there is no prices to chart and no volume to report. Therefore, the chart could be shown as a blank space. Another type of chart that is similar to a stock bar chart is a candlestick chart. A candlestick chart may be easier to read and contains more information at first glance. The top and bottom of the vertical line indicate the high and low prices over a given time period. The rectangular region is known as the real body. It visually offers the difference between the opening and closing prices for the day's trade. It is displayed in two different colors depending on the actions for the day on that stock. Let's interpret a stock candlestick chart. Explain the difference between the market action on September 8th compared to September 9th, shown in this candlestick chart from September 7th to 11th. Candlestick charts rely on color for interpretation, usually green and red, but here it's gray and black, where the gray would be green and the black is red. Now let's check your understanding and interpret a green candlestick that's going to be shown, I'm going to draw it with black ink, as only a rectangle with no lines on top or bottom. The close was higher than the open. That's the reason it doesn't have that little tab at the top or bottom. Without any lines at the top or bottom, the graph indicates that the closing price was the high for the day and that the opening price was the low for the day. So what was the approximate difference between the high price and the low price for this week in this candlestick chart from September 7th to September 11th? Well, the high was approximately $39.90. The low was approximately $37.75. By subtracting them, we get $2.15. Let's check our understanding. The lengths of the candlesticks for September 8th and 11th are approximately the same. What does this mean about the trading prices of both of those days? It means that the difference between each day's high and low prices were about the same.